Fun fact, did you know that Flavor Flav has been sponsoring the women's water polo team?
No, really?
That's why he's over there at the Olympics because they said he found out that the women's Olympic team was still having to work jobs and stuff while they was training. Even though they won like 4 gold medals the last I guess the last few Olympics they've been winning, kicking butt. So Flavor Flav came in and he's sponsoring the women's polo team.
Let's embark on the Ark Republic to hear current news that's published. More than gossip and chatter, covering current affairs that matter. We talk issues with professional views, all keeping you in queue. We wanted a higher vibe for these days and times to free the voices and minds. Reporting the sign of the times so all can build. Let's shine, yeah.
What up, wherever you are situated in the universe? My name is a.k.a. Shivers, and welcome to Ark Republic News Podcast, where we talk about all news that matters to us. And we are here with Dame Crawford from Uncouth Radio, our political and cultural correspondent, because we do talk about stuff. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I am great. You know why I'm great?
Why
Because
are
I
you
am
great?
looking at the Olympics. I am an Olympics stan. I'm not a stan for a lot of stuff, but as a former athlete, as somebody who just loves really like competition with good energy and vibes, because competition can make you better. I am enjoying the Olympics, but the Olympics just doesn't hang like it is. I don't know if it's because I'm older now. I don't know if it's because you have cable television and you got to do all this stuff in order to get to it, but as a kid, I used to watch it, or the family used to watch it. That was the only thing interesting that was on during the summer, by the way. But have you been watching the Olympics?
I watched a little bit. I watched a little bit of gymnastics. Of course, I've been watching the USA basketball team. Those are the only two things I watched so far, and a little bit of track and field when Shikari was on the relay. I had to watch that.
Oh, they did the relay already. I'm sorry, I have been.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did they win?
Yeah, it was the her and Jamaica neck and neck, fighting to
Woo!
the end. It was a great race. It was a great race.
Really? Oh my gosh. I have been, I'm not going to lie. Earlier this morning, I was looking at the swimming. I am a swimmer, so I was hooting and hollering that I got to watch the replay. Of course, it's because it's the 6, 7 hour time difference
Right.
for me. I know it's even longer for you. But what are the sports that you watch in the Olympics?
Well, my favorite sports to watch are basketball.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah, basketball, all the gymnastics, track and field, and I think they starting a 3-on-3 basketball tournament
Really?
in the Olympics this year. So I'm interested to see what that's gonna look like.
Interesting. Okay. Do you think that's an Ice Cube thing or is it,
I
is it
think I feel like
influence?
they stole it from Ice Cube. Yeah, I feel like they were influenced by that. And you know what was fun to watch
What?
randomly, but it's super fun to watch because they go hard. Ping pong, Olympic
People.
ping, yo, Olympic ping pong. It look like special effects how fast they be hitting that ball. Like they go hard in Olympic ping pong.
Oh my God.
I'm telling y'all. Fun fact, did you know that Flavor Flav has been sponsoring the women's water polo team?
No, really?
That's why he's over there at the Olympics because they said he found out that the women's Olympic team was still having to work jobs and stuff while they was training. Even though they won like 4 gold medals the last I guess the last few Olympics they've been winning, kicking butt. So Flavor Flav came in and he's sponsoring the women's polo team.
Oh, that's okay. That is super dope. You'll be surprised how many people are really into sports and support sports. I think Uh, we talked about this years ago with the WNBA and it resuscitating itself. You're seeing those fruits or those seeds that were planted. Now, a lot of people's about women's sports, women's sports. I'm surprised you said some gymnastics, right? What is it about gymnastics that you like? I'm very interested. That's one of my sports too, by the way, that I watch.
Well, I got into gymnastics because of Dominique Dawes back in the day. When Dominique Dawes first got into gymnastics and she became this phenom, as a kid, I thought that was super dope because, as you know, we didn't see a lot of, Russia had ruled gymnastics for a
Mm-hmm.
very long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dominique was like one of the first black girls we saw that was like kicking butt at the top of her game in the Olympics. And I think I was really taken by that. And since then, like after her, Gabby Douglas, Simone Biles, so many others, it was just like one, watching her talent and watching how much better she was than everybody else. Because
Hmm.
like they say with us, you can't just be better. You got to be like 10 times better.
Yeah,
And she was so
damn near
good.
superhuman.
Yeah, damn near superhuman. And she was so good. And then on top of that, I learned how much skill it took to do the things that they do. Like watching, like literally before we got on, I had watched highlights of Simone on the beam. And the thing
Ooh.
she's doing on that, what is it, 2.5 inch or 3 inch beam, like how
Hmm.
much the
Hmm. The
thing she
balance
and
beam. The
the
balance
balance
beam.
beam,
Hmm.
yeah. And I said, yo, like the amount of like athleticism it takes to do the things they do on there, and they make it look simple, but it's probably one of the most difficult things to do in sports. So I always thought that was amazing. And so that's why I got into, gymnastics, and me being like a super Olympic head happened because the 1984 Olympics here
Hmm.
in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? When they came, when you talk about some good branding, I don't know if y'all remember Sam the Eagle. Let's see if you
Oh,
can
we
see
can't
it.
see it.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we
pull it
go.
back.
Oh,
Pull
I
it
gotta
back a
put it there.
little.
There we
Yes.
go.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
look. The AI be popping up. Sam the Eagle.
Oh, I remember Sam the
See
Eagle.
if you remember Sam the
I
Eagle.
remember Sam the Eagle. It was such an exciting time in Los Angeles at the time. Yes, yes. Go ahead
Yeah,
though.
yeah. So yeah, Sam the Eagle, and I was telling you, like, yo, they gave us Sam the Eagle with Happy Meals. You got Sam the Eagle at every street corner. They was selling the Sam the Eagle hats, and I literally remember that from 1984, and that was the first time I really got into the Olympics. And then, of course, basketball, the Dream Team, the first one,
Right.
92, the 92 Dream Team. They put a huge spotlight on. I don't think just basketball. I think they put a huge spotlight on all Olympics.
Right. And
Right.
and just to give some political context a little bit, in 84, remember Muhammad Ali carried the torch
Yep.
in the Coliseum,
Yep.
and it was the sign of him having what is that? Parkinson's,
Parkinson's. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Which was bittersweet, right? For a
Yeah.
lot, I don't know about, but I know I was looking on, and actually probably looking at my parents to see what their reaction was, because he was such a stalwart when it came to a fusion of athleticism and activism, and how much he
Yeah.
he paid for that. And then in 92, Magic Johnson with the HIV announcement prior to, and him
Right.
playing, there was a push against him playing in the
Yeah.
Olympics because of his HIV diagnosis, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like there's all this like historical context, like Jesu throughout all of that. And then now looking back too, you see that like, yo, like the 92 Dream Team might have been probably one of the best basketball teams ever assembled ever. And we got
Wow.
to witness that, like in a historical contest. Like we got to witness Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Larry Bird, like literally a ton of legends all on the same team. And I think that's dope because it's like you said, like even now we had the dream team, it don't hit the same as that
No,
92 dream team did. It don't hit the same as that 92 dream team.
it
It's
don't
some
hit the
it's
same.
something very special about that 92
Now,
dream
and
team.
let me tell you, I don't know what the numbers would look like, but I want to say that the 92 Dream Team kind of marks this point where I think Black American culture, I mean, even though Larry Bird was there, but basketball and how it's played is very much within this cultural aesthetic of, the Black ebb and flow. I think it then explodes against this terrain of hip hop, right?
Yep.
And globally, like
Yeah.
this
Hmm.
and basketball becomes even more of something that is done around the world when you have this team. So from then on, in my opinion, a lot of basketball teams are just happy to play against, you know,
Well, no,
American teams or
I'll
women.
tell you something to even codify your point. The 92 team was the team I think that opened basketball to the world to where now like the Euro players we have now, like we had the Dirk Nowitzki's, the Luka Doncic's, those players are a product of that. Because
Mm.
after USA beat the brakes off of everybody, 'cause they was beating teams about like 60, 70. They said one game Michael Jordan played 18 rounds of golf, like 18 holes of golf, and came in and they blew out Puerto Rico, something crazy. After that, the rest of the world started taking basketball very seriously.
Mm. Mm.
And that's how you have like it's literally a direct line from that 92 Olympics to all the Europeans getting better
Mhm.
after that embarrassment. to now
Right.
you have like the Europeans in the league who are just as good as like, some of the top black players in the league.
Right. And study, probably still study these players because a lot of what they did had a lot of fundamentals wrapped into it, which of course is always the criticism is that you have a lot of players who have pageantry, right? But
Yep.
also understand that basketball introduces the way in which Black people compete with a level of flair and pageantry that was shunned upon because in order to be an athlete, you had to be serious, you had to be focused, you had to be stoic. Man, like you said, they could be up in the club all night, come and blow somebody.
Right. Right.
So you have the dunking and you have the back passes and the alley oops and all of these very. And the thing is that it's presented that it's easy. It takes time and practice in order to get it in, and a certain rhythm and a fearlessness in a way. So I
Right.
think it introduced the Black American athlete in a whole other way. Usually it was like one
Absolutely.
or two. You had a Jesse Owens, you had a Muhammad Ali, or you had like
Mm-hmm.
Arthur
Mm-hmm.
Ashe. But then you have now, five people or four people, whatever it is, on the court.
Like
Now,
you said, all those superstars, like they wrote out all them superstars, and it was like one of the biggest things ever. They couldn't go anywhere.
mhm,
And even Charles Barkley said, Magic Johnson, they like we were superstars, but Michael Jordan was like even above us at that
mhm,
time. You know what I mean? So it's like the beginning of it was like the peak of Air Jordan
mhm.
at the time. There's a funny story about that Olympics where Michael Jordan comes in and tells Magic Johnson and Larry Bird it's a new sheriff in town.
Oh,
And they was like, "What?" And then they get on the court, and then he wore them out. And after the after the game, Magic said, "You right, you got it,
you
got it.
got it.
It's a new sheriff in town."
And I think that's a really good point. There was a time where, look, you had to earn it, but they would pass the torch.
Yep,
You had to
yep.
earn it, but they would pass the torch. In your opinion, because I do not follow basketball like I used to, it is it could be so mm, I don't know. It just doesn't hit like it used to. So why are the teams different now as opposed to then for you?
I'm glad you asked me this because I have a theory about this. So back then, you had let's take Magic and Bird for example, right? You have Magic from Detroit, Michigan. You had Bird from French Lick. Those guys been watching each other their whole lives through newspaper. Who is this Larry Bird dude? I can't wait to play him. So they have this built-in rivalry before they even meet because
Mm-hmm,
they know he's the best here, he's the best here. I got to beat him
mm-hmm,
in order to be the best.
mm-hmm,
That's what it was for everywhere. Like every region had that one guy who was the guy that was going to go to the NBA. So the other guy from the other region had been watching him, like
mm-hmm,
Magic, watching Larry Bird. Kobe had been watching Tim Thomas and Steven Jackson and all the guys that was his age, and Rip Hamilton. Like so, Magic had an eye, and Kobe had an eye on them guys since he was a kid. What changed was the AAU teams.
mm.
That changed the whole competitive nature because now all the best players from all the regions play
Go to the
together
AAU.
on
Mm-hmm,
the best teams their whole life. So they friends since they're 15, 14 years old, playing together all the way until college,
mm-hmm,
right? So even if you have a healthy competitive spirit against them, it's slightly different when y'all really, really been friends for that long, as opposed to like I've been watching this guy from across the river and I don't like him. I have a distaste for him because I feel like he's in my spot. I feel like I got to go through him to be, So I think it builds a different kind of competitiveness. So I
mm-hmm,
think that's why it's a little different. And because now guys rather play together than beat each other. And back then, Magic, I want to beat Bird. Bird was sick because he wanted to beat Magic. Like those
mm-hmm,
guys, like Jordan wanted to beat Magic and Bird. You know what I mean? Because it's like if I want to be seen as the best, I want to beat the best. But now a lot of the guys who are the best want to play together. So I don't think you get that same kind of like competitive force meeting each other when a lot of the
Right,
same
yeah,
guys.
creating these super teams. That was like a criticism some years ago. Like, why do you
Yeah,
want to have this concentration of all these players? Like, why couldn't it spread out? It really makes it more interesting, in my opinion, when they are spread out. Um, but I don't know in terms of the rise of the AAU. I'm pretty sure that it's connected to all the people who used to play street ball and they wanted to capture some of those folks that probably weren't, going into high school and college or when they had that thing where you had to be in college in order to be in the NBA. I don't know if that's still
Well, no, it's Nike. Nike and Adidas start setting their eyes on athletes early. And they were basically what the AAU was basically a farming system for Nikes and Adidas upcoming athletes. We watching these guys from middle school to high school. We know who we gonna sign by the time they get in college, and we're gonna nurture that. We're gonna give them free shoes. We're gonna put them on these AAU teams, put them in the best gyms, get them trainers. You know what I mean? So it was like the shoe company started a lot of the AAU to try to basically generate their next Michael Jordan, their next Magic Johnson, their next Kobe Bryant. That's what happened. So, and from that standpoint, it has been good because it's been very lucrative for a lot of the young black men who their first year, because Nike have been following since they were 13, they don't have to wait to play 2 or 3 years in the league to ink a big shoe deal. They're getting them like, oh, we've been watching you since blah, blah, blah. As a rookie, we're going to give you 50, 75, $100 million. So it's worked in that. But like you said, it's changed the competition a little
Right.
bit.
But what you said is going to bolster my point about capitalism is always involved in it. Like how in this is also during a time where sports was not considered entertainment, but sports very much is its whole niche in the entertainment industry. That's what I mean by that. And it becomes a very lucrative system in this system of capitalism. It's so interesting you said begin to farm out, because one of the critiques is that this system uses talent, and particularly we're talking about basketball, we're talking about largely black talent, in order to make money off of it. We could get
Right.
into the political weeds about sports, but I want to say let me tell you, the Olympics for me, just in general, because I used to watch a bevy of stuff, because I don't know about you, it was the only thing that was interesting on.
Well,
So
to
I
your
used
point
to
earlier
watch
too, when you
everything.
said, yeah, to your point earlier when you said what happened, there was no cable.
Mm-hmm.
You could just turn the channel forward because now you got
Yup.
to go to like an app or a streaming service. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
on. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You can just wake up and it's on all night. Remember, you wake up in the middle of the
In the
night and the
night,
Olympics are all like they're showing everything
everything,
all night. Now you
all
got to go to
night.
one streaming service to see one sport, one streaming. So and it's like too many other things to do in the summer and watch.
Right. And it for me as a black kid from South Central who participated in sports, it did two things. One, I was a swimmer. So I was able to actually see a sport that I was engaged in and loved that wasn't particularly a sport that a lot of black people participated in on the high competitive level. That was cool. But it
Yeah,
also exposed me to sports that I had never even seen be played or
yeah,
even knew it was a sport, like horseback riding and what's the shooting, the archery, and
yeah. The
just the different
archery,
things,
yeah,
right? And just to see how different sports were included along the way. So that was always something that was very exciting to me. Even if it was boring, I would look at it because it was just such a fascination. Now, to a certain degree, because I would have to turn it off when it got hella boring, right? Especially that shooting stuff. But I was always fascinated with that. But gymnastics, as you said, swimming, track and field is always the highlight. So I appreciated that. I have a question though for you, sir. The Olympics in 4 years, and I know I caught you right after a show, so I know you a little tired.
Oh no, no, I'm good. I'm good.
It's all good. So the Olympics are coming to LA in 4 years. And what we know as being Angelenos and me, majority of my family is still there, goes back and forth. You there, friends are there, is that they've been kicking out black folk,
Moving everybody.
moving everybody for a very long time. And it actually went into warp speed when LA got the bid for having the Olympics in 2028. What do
Absolutely.
people need to do who are in these vulnerable communities that are still in the city, or what can LA do for this
Mm.
to be something that might be a little bit, where everybody can generate? Because I remember the bootleg men selling them T-shirts on the corner. I remember all of that.
Yeah, the bootleg man gonna be selling t-shirts. People, and they do this already for like football games and stuff, and things by the farm and the farm and the new stadium that's gonna be built. But people using their own personal driveways, making like hundreds of dollars. Like when the Super Bowl was out here, people was charging $150 for people to park in their driveway, and they was getting it easy.
Mm,
So I
mm,
would say all those kind of hustles, of
mm.
course, they're gonna continue. Um, Take advantage of the places that they're gonna use. Like how you were talking about how they redid all the swimming facilities out here when they were using them for like practice for the Olympics, for the actual Olympics. But then after that, that means LA had a bunch of really good swimming facilities in the hood that we didn't have before. So I would say try to take advantage of those places that they're going to redo, refurbish, or to utilize for the Olympics. A lot of times after that, they're good to go, and a lot of people don't use them. So try to utilize those places and those spaces, and really just try to figure out a hustle to make you own, some bread. Even like you said, if it's some t-shirts or some merchandise or some I Love America hats, whatever it is, you know what I
Right.
mean?
And
Try to take advantage.
and if you are a vendor, get a truck, get a food truck. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a, what do you call this? More restrictions in terms of the corner taqueras,
Yeah.
that are
Oh
going
yeah.
on. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So make sure that you're legitimate. Make sure you have all of your
Yeah.
licensing in place. If you don't have a shop, get something where you have a food truck. If you are a business, look to see if you can situate yourself to get contracts, to get city
Yeah.
contracts. What people don't know, by definition, municipalities are mandated to diversify their pool.
Mm-hmm.
And what they often do is that, well, we put this out there, but nobody,
Nobody took advantage.
yeah,
Yep,
or
exactly.
people weren't qualified. This is what I heard when they did the Destination Crenshaw thing. Oh, it was all these, but people didn't have their books together. People weren't qualified. Get qualified. Get your books together. Also, be prepared to challenge your local representation, city council members, county supervisors. Challenge them to make sure that they bring resources into your communities that protect your communities, whether it's more safety, whether it's, bringing more resources to make your parks look better. So
100%.
all these things that they're definitely doing in these quote unquote tourist places. Please do that. Now that I'm older and I know exactly, go to those county and city council meetings and begin to press the issue, but also form your own. If you have a block club, a neighborhood association, get the monies necessary. Let me tell you what they do out here in the summertime in Philly. They close blocks down and they have parties.
Yep.
Make sure that your community is well taken care of and doesn't become consumed or subsumed by this. And as well, look and see how much you can to protect that your community is still there in 4 years. That's
Yeah.
really important, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so that, I mean, those are my kind of things. I guess we have a 4 year you on notice LA
Yep. Yep.
in terms of, but we're going to enjoy these Paris 2024 Olympics. All right.